Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Wemi and this is Moments of Love. Today I figured we would take the time to show you guys some of the awesome things that we use to homeschool. Especially given all that's going on in the climate of the world right now, I thought it was an awesome time to take some time to show you guys our favorite products, how we set up our homeschool desk, and essentially just show you guys our learning environment along with our favorite tools for learning. That's the right word to use. And a lot of these items you'll be able to find them on Amazon, so I will link them all in the description box for you below. And the reason why I say Amazon is because a lot of these items you can find in store, but I think just given the time we're in when I'm filming this video right now, a lot of stores are closed to the public, so for that reason you're restricted to online shopping for the most part. So for those of us who are still able to get some things online, this will be awesome for you. You can pick out and find awesome things to help your kids stay engaged, stay learning, and keep having fun while they're home with you and while you need to get some work done. So hopefully this video helps you. If you enjoy content like this, please feel free to give me a thumbs up and comment in the description box below if you love this content, so we can keep producing more stuff like this for you guys. Thank you so much, and let's get into it. So starting off our homeschool area, we have here the IKEA Paul desk, and we use the IKEA Sunvisk desk. Underneath my desk right now, I currently have all of our dry erase markers and erasers stored on the little ledge right there. I also have a bag of disposable plastic bags, and we use those to store reusable things as we use them. In this container here from Staples, I have all of our current binders stored in there. Again, the chairs are the Sunvisk chairs. We have two of them, one for him, one for me. They are kind of they're better wood, so it does hold an adult's weight well. On Elia's side right here, he has his eraser and his dry erase markers as well. Onto the top of the desk here, to the left, we have a clock that he's able to use to kind of work on telling time. That is something that we're working hard on right now. And beside it there, I have actually a garbage can. And on it as well is our memory verse for the week. We change that out every Monday with a magnet. The reason I use that, it's actually just a can that some laundry powder came in, but because it's metal and it's nice and small, it was perfect for throwing out our scraps of paper and being able to hold our memory verse for us in somewhere that's nice and visible and accessible. The desk does come with an add-on unit that you're able to add on to the top. This desk does extend to have different heights. So right now it's at the lowest height to allow Elia and I to sit. As he grows up, we will kind of lift it up a little bit and get a little taller. So on the bottom shelf, we have our we'll call it our daily use things, our pencils, our markers, extra supplies that we kind of tend to reach for as we're working. Glue, scissors, little things like that are on the very bottom shelf, and that allows us to access things as we need them and put them back. On the second shelf there, I have our math manipulatives, and we have Muffins, and I'll get into that later. We've got a roll of toilet paper because y'all know how it gets. There are some tears shed at homeschool every now and then, so I'd like to be prepared. And we've got some cards that we also use, some flashcards that we use for learning. On the third shelf up there, we have our current workbooks that we are using. They're all stored up there, so I can easily reach them and grab them down as we go through our days, essentially. And that's how we have our desk set up. It's really simple, really practical. It's not about looking cute. It's just practical and functional. Up top there, I have our diffuser, and that's just because I like to diffuse oils as we work. Moving over to our right, we have a little IKEA unit here. I'll link it below. I can't remember the name right now. But in it, we have our book stored, and on it, we have our Melissa and Doug monthly calendar. And this is awesome because we're able to have our monthly activities there for him, and he's able to also use this to reference the date when we're doing our days of the week. He's able to know what the date is by just looking over the calendar, and also see upcoming activities. This unit was I think it's a Buffett unit from IKEA. I will link it below. Up top, we have an overhang section that's just kind of weird, nothing to do with it. So I found a whiteboard that fit quote unquote perfectly. And on there, I have different things hanging. I have kind of a few little things I'll get into after, but going back to the top of the unit, I have I'll call it our arts and crafts section. In the black and white striped bin you see there, I have like our dice, our liquid glue, our stickers, all the kind of messy things. And then when you open inside the unit, I have our binders and workbooks not currently in use. So our first binder here is our numbers binder. And in there, I keep all things kind of more or less math related. He hasn't started working on this specific binder because we've been using different math workbooks. He might never get to this binder specifically, but I did print these out. When the time comes, we can get to them. We have done these sheets right here. I have them printed out in a separate cue cards list, and we have done a few of them. They seem to work out great. My binders are from Amazon as well. These number maze sheets, he really, really loves doing them. And they essentially just go through number patterns in different ways. Then going on, we have our Add It. These, I already have them laminated, but I printed extras because I didn't realize I already had them. So I have 2 sets, but the current set we're using is already cut and laminated. But these are the extras, and this kind of shows you guys how the math idea works. And it's really simple, and I love it. Moving on, we have our sight words binder. This binder, I'm not sure if we'll get to it because Alio can read now, so he doesn't actually really need sight words anymore, so we might never use this. But it was a great resource that I found, and we might try the color by sight words because why not? That's fun. My kid doesn't like coloring though, so we might not. What he did love doing were these sight words bingo sheets. He loved those. These really got him interested in sight words very early. I started off with just a 3x3 grid, and we slowly worked our way up. And I think currently we're at like 6x6 grids, and he just loves playing bingo with words. Really, really great use of learning words that way. Moving on, I also have this curriculum that we are just starting because we've not finished our alphabet curriculum. So we're doing this preschool exploring God's love. And I want to incorporate it into our kind of weekly routine. Maybe 1 or 2 days a week, we'll do a little bit of biblical learning. And this book seems fantastic for that. We've done a few pages. It comes with a DVD where you can print additional supplemental material for it. And it seems super awesome. So in our yellow bin here, that's, also from IKEA, I store all the books that we are either not using yet, we'll be using in the future, or we've kind of skipped over. And in here right now, I'm pulling out, we have our few workbooks here. These are all from Amazon, and I'll just go through them briefly. Phonics for kindergarten. Again, Alio probably won't use this book anymore because he has passed this stage. We just didn't get to it because he learned so much so quickly that I don't think we'll have a need for this book. But this also seems like a great book. I can't comment too much on how great it is because we didn't get to use it. But it seems like a really awesome book, and that's why I bought it. It took me a lot of sifting through to choose the books that I did choose. Likewise, this is beginning reading. This one we might do for fun if we get to it. It just seems nice and light and easy. And this was also an Amazon purchase. And I love that it comes with little gold stars that you can give the kids and, have them feel a little special. Overall, I do think these books are fantastic. Alio is getting really good at kind of getting the order of things with pictures, so that's why we might end up doing this book, because I could sharpen those skills up just a little bit. I wouldn't mind working a little bit more on those skills for him specifically. But we'll see how our current workbooks go, if we end up making it to this book or not, because as I said, he can read. So this is these books are amazing. We're currently working on one right now. Last week I have a pre-K, a K, and a K21. So I grabbed this book and the K book, and I flipped through both, and I realized, well, we're not going to do this book because he's way past this stage. So we're going to end up skipping this Brain Quest pre-kindergarten book, because mainly he doesn't need practice in this area anymore, so we've kind of skipped over this and moved on to the next level, which you guys will see later is the yellow book, and we're currently doing that right now. But these books seem fantastic. They have different I guess sections in them. You've got your ABCs, your numbers. These are the phonics section. And then you move on to vocabulary section. And I mean, you get a lot of pages on specific, I guess you'll call them subjects. And the subjects are really great because it gives enough pages to sort of work on the skill and identify where your child needs more work versus where your child is already excelling. You move on to things like shapes and colors. My son does not like coloring at all. He really doesn't like it. So we kind of struggle with that because it's just not something he enjoys doing. I don't want to force him to, but at the same time, I don't want him to just not do it. So I try to find a nice balance where I'll color with him and I'll do half of the picture and he'll do half of the picture. Try to meet him halfway to kind of encourage him. And sometimes I'll just be like, hey, I'm busy doing this, so you keep going and I'll join you when I'm done. And it works sometimes it doesn't. We've got here sorting and matching. Elia loves doing that type of stuff, and he does really well at that. This is the My World subject, and here you're just learning things about, as it says, your world. Moving on to the next, I believe, subject here is, this is science. And the science one is another, I guess, subject that we are going to be moving on to. We're going to be doing math right now. And I think after math, right in time for middle to end of spring, we're going to get into the science section for us so that he can sort of have more outdoor things to do to learn science. And at the end of all of the workbooks here, they have fun and games, and Elia loves this part because he loves mazes, connect the dots, all of those kind of things are truly his favorite things. So you also have that at the end for your kids to have a little bit of fun while still learning and reinforcing the skills they've learned throughout the book. Brain Quest textbooks, at the end, they have these awesome flashcards, because you guys remember Brain Quest flashcards as a kid? I remember using them as a kid. And I did buy the flashcards. I returned them because I didn't feel that our lifestyle catered to it. But in the case that we want to, at the back of the textbooks, they have these flashcards here that you can cut out. You can essentially laminate them and create your own set of flashcards. You've also got stickers back there. And then I believe at the end, and you have your good job encouragement stickers as well. And at the end there, they also have an alphabet poster that you can put up in your kids' room or just in your homeschool space to have visual aids, visual learning there as well. So I love the Brain Quest workbooks and I highly recommend them. To my, these are my Hobby Lobby books. These books I believe were purchased from Hobby Lobby, these little skinny ones here. This is Math Basics. This one, we are not going to do this anytime soon because it's a little bit more higher level in terms of the math skills you are learning. These books are like $2.99 from Hobby Lobby. They're amazing. Here we have our alphabet book. He, again, doesn't need this skill, but if we have time, we might do it. We might not. We might just move on to, where he does need attention and time. But yeah, so they have that K21. Moving back to some Amazon books, spelling and writing for beginners. This is a grade 1 book. So again, we're probably not going to get here yet this year, but we might because we are a little bit ahead of schedule. So we might be able to get into him doing some more reading and writing. He loves writing currently. He does write sentences. So we might be able to move on to this. Again, I want to make sure we focus on our math and science because right now I think we do need a little bit more time there. But this book itself, it seems like an awesome resource and a great way to practice the spelling skills, the writing skills, and such for your child. Moving on to these two books I purchased, I believe, from Scholar's Choice, but I do think they have them on Amazon as well. You've got a whole book on consonants. And this works with simple things like filling in missing letters, consonant, vowel, consonant patterns. It's really awesome. It's got the blends for you. In the vowels book, you're essentially learning your short vowels, your long vowels, and I think that's a really great skill to sharpen. We've done that already, but I think it would be awesome for us to get to this book to kind of work on and reinforcing those skills. Another great tool we have is our base 10 set. We use this when we're doing our math, and Elia loves having these manipulatives. I also have here just a basic pizza pan sheet from the dollar store. We use that for magnets, and it's a great way to do that. This right here has been Elia's favorite for when we first started. There are pattern blocks. I got these Melissa and Doug ones from Amazon, and he loved them. We would do our letters with pattern blocks, and they were amazing. Onto workbooks, Bob Workbooks. I bought these along with the Brain Quest ones, but truly I didn't need both, but I did keep both because I was like, you know what, we might have time to get to more books to reinforce our skills. So these essentially do the same things as the Brain Quest books, just a little bit of a different way. The Bob books focus more on reading, writing, literature, comprehension, that type of thing. Whereas the Brain Quest, you do cover a lot more subjects that way. So it depends on what you're working on. Whereas the Bob books workbooks are more focused on your English learning, English language as a whole. And I think it's also just a great way to reinforce that, especially if you have the Bob books. This one here focuses on a certain set of books, and they kind of all work that way. I think it's a great way to do it. We bought the Bob books. We didn't find Elia needed them because he was already so advanced in his reading, so I returned them all to Amazon. But they're a really great tool if you're still at that stage. Singapore Math, I love this book. I can't say enough about it. Love it. We have Kindergarten A and Kindergarten B. We finished Kindergarten A, as you guys see here. We have gone through the entire book. We have done it all. It kind of comes in units, and I think there's we're going to count together here how many pages they do per unit. So this unit is the same unit. We're at 5 pages so far, I think? 6, 7, 8, 9. So about 9 to 10 pages per unit. So you do the same unit, then you do the different unit, and the units tend to kind of build on each other. So it helps really solidify the skills that your child's learning. At the bottom of each page, it tells you the concept you're working on, and it gives you tips on how to reinforce that concept for your child's learning, which I think is really awesome. So it's not just a book where you're just doing questions and moving on. It helps you as a parent reinforce and teach the skills that are needed. This book here, we did not need it at all. As you can tell, we didn't really use it. As you guys can probably tell here, we did the first 3 or 4 pages and I was just like, what are we doing? We don't need this. But because he already started using it, I could return it, so I kept it. But again, really evaluate your own child and see what skills your child needs help with. But for us, this book right here, complete no. And then some more books we haven't had a chance to get to yet. Excuse my voice. We haven't got to these books yet, but I think we will at some point. We've got another beginning readers workbook there. That's a Bob one. We've got some more of those little books from what's their name? Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to flip through them quickly here. Here's the first Bob. The second one, this is the K21 Bob Workbook, and this follows set 3, 4, and 5. I think the first book I showed you guys followed step 1 and 2, or set 1 and 2 of the Bob books. Then here we've got another book from, this one was an Amazon purchase, Thinking and Reasoning. The highlights has, I think they go up to like grade 5 or 6 or 8. Check on Amazon. But they have a lot of great books, and these books, I am so excited to get into them because they seem like they're really, really efficient, and they seem like they'll be very effective in teaching the skills needed. And they do come with the answers. Sometimes as an adult, I'm not gonna lie, some questions I'm like, I don't get this question. So it's great to have an answer cheat sheet there for you if you're just like, I don't understand what this is asking my child to do. This book right here, Math for Kindergarten, I'm excited about this because it is simple black line. So it's not distracting with colors and too much going on. And I think that's really great sometimes when working on math, to remove the distractions and get down to the bare bones basics of what you're learning. And I'm excited to use that specific book for that reason. This next book here, same idea. We're just reinforcing math skills in different ways. And I think for me, I bought a lot of math books because when our semester started, or when our year started, that was where I found my son needed the most help, was for math. So I kind of OD'd on the math situation here. So we might not get through most of these math books, but I've come so far, right? This is another Hobby Lobby book, $2.99. I think the Hobby Lobby books only go up to like grade 1 or 2 in store, but the company itself does exist online, and you can buy more books from them that way. This is a book that I purchased from Scholar's Choice, and it goes through, it's essentially to 1 page per day, which might be great for those who are trying out this homeschooling thing during this X number of weeks that schools are canceled. That might be a great resource to get a page done a day. Here we're just kind of reinforcing letters. Again, we don't need this anymore, but seems like a great skill, and we might use it just for the purpose of practicing writing his letters more. Moving on here, this is the book that we're currently on, this book right now, and this works on following directions. And I find with my son, quite often he likes to skip the directions and just kind of do his own thing. So I chose to do this book next because I want to reinforce for him the concept of reading what you are told to do and doing it. So I want to reinforce that right now over the next few weeks, and that's why I chose that book as our current workbook, as well as this cutting and tracing book, because as I said, he doesn't like arts and crafts, so I try to encourage him to do it every now and then. So I'm slipping in the cutting and tracing book in there to hopefully get him to do a little bit more arts and crafts with me. So the Singapore math book, as I said, I love this book. We're currently on the second book. We're on unit 17, or I think we're going to be on 18. Yeah, we're done unit 17, which is comparing numbers, and he did really great at this. Again, like, I love the skills that are reinforced. This book is amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. If you need a math book, get a Singapore math book for sure. And we're also, as I said, currently working on a Brain Quest book. We're doing the kindergarten book right now, and we just started, and we're just kind of going back and started from the beginning and reinforcing our letters and such. Alayo has a really hard time with his lowercase b's and lowercase d's. He always confuses them. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't hurt to go back and work on that a little bit more. We're going to start this math book probably in the next few days. We're going to start working on our math textbooks a little bit more, or workbooks, I should say, a little bit more. So these are a few more Hobby Lobby books. The Bible Hidden Pictures here, I do not recommend it. I'm sorry, I don't. And here's why. I'm going to show it to you guys here. It says, find these items as an adult. Can you find that? Because sometimes I sit there and I'm like, I don't see these outlines, because it essentially creates the outlines within the images. So like this picture of the queen right here, you can see the king in the right pillar. If you look at the right pillar close to the top, you'll see the king's outline. For me, I don't think that's very child friendly, because it needs a lot of focus that I as an adult struggle with, much less a 4-year-old child. So for me, I don't recommend that book at all. But that kind of goes through our entire curriculum book collection. Another thing we use here are these muffins. There's bears. There are different types of manipulatives you could use, but I chose muffins because my son's a picky eater, so I hoped that would help him want to eat muffins and more foods. I don't know what I was thinking, but that was my reasoning. Down here, as I said earlier, we have our items that we use. These right here, these little magnets, on Amazon, because I wanted to find something magnetic to use for him. So these are magnetic push pins. We use them on our pizza pan that I showed you guys earlier, and we use them for counting, for playing bingo, for all those kind of things. It's great to have a magnet and something that the magnets can work on, which for us, I chose that to be a bacon sheet, because why not? These Homophone Blackout, we play bingo with it, and Lyle loves it as well. It comes with sheets to help read questions out, read out sentences for the homophones. I will link that all below for you guys who want to try that with your child. And here I have our extra supplies. So these are like scoops for the muffins. I bought some silicone bacon cups for the muffins. We've got like our extra glue. These dice here, they came with the muffins. You've got your color dice and you've got your number dice. That all came with the muffin set as well. I've got all of our extra erasers, glue, and all that kind of, fun stuff. I've got some extra pencil crayons. Those were my pencil crayons, not Elia's. And then we've got like our dot markers, and these are honestly bingo markers because I couldn't find dot markers anywhere. So I was like, you know what? Bingo markers are the same thing. I'll buy some bingo markers. And that's what I did, because the dot markers I saw were like $20. I said, nah, bingo markers are $1 each. So I went and I bought 4 colored bingo markers and called it a day. Dot to dot stickers. My son loves connecting the dots. I mean, he loves it. So I went ahead and I purchased an expert level one for him here. And this is a really cool sheet. It goes up to, I think, 250 is the number it goes up to. And you have stickers to kind of fill in the picture. Oh, 230 dots. There we go. You have stickers to fill in the picture and create a whole image. It's beautiful. I love it. I highly recommend connecting the dots for children. It helps reinforce their number skills and helps kind of keep them advancing in their numbers. I also have here this wipeable book, which is really awesome if you're trying to be a little bit more conscious of paper and things like that. You can buy some wipeable books. And that way you can use your dry erase marker and kind of practice your skills with these books. The only downside I found to them is that you are limited in that you can't sort of advance your skill because you just have to practice the exact same things over and over within the book. So that's the only downside I found to wipeable sheets. But I think with something like a school shutdown where you are only out of school for maybe a month, a wipeable book might be a great resource to do because it gives good busy work for your child while still allowing you to, not really invest too much money and time, that kind of stuff. Here I have this book that I also purchased. I haven't really dived into it yet. We might dive into it this summer, but it's essentially the Readiness Year, and it helps your child get ready for the next step in life, in this case, which would be for kindergarten or for grade 1. It really helps for that. That's the purpose of it. You have real, as you can see, paragraphs here for the parents to read, to get some tips on advancing certain skills and working on certain skills for your child, with your child. And then you also have the actual work part, the workbook part, I guess, where your kid can actually work on certain things within the book. That's what the Readiness Year is all about. This book here, I only really didn't need it, but I purchased it because I liked the landscape layout, in that then the child can flip the book up and they're not really worried about the lay flat idea. And I believe this book is a lay flat book. I didn't lay flat here because I had items behind it, but I believe it is a lay flat book in that it stays flat once you flip it, which is really helpful for a young child working with things like this. Then over here we've just got our pencil sharpener. Nothing serious. I invested in this because we've got pencil crayons and pencils we're using, so I bought us a pencil sharpener. And here's our arts and crafts bin. We've got some dice in there. I have our memory verse sheets in there that are all laminated. We went by letters, and we've got some review memory verse. I've got some extra dry erase markers and wipers. We've got rubber bands, paper plates, glue, palms, all kinds of little fun things that we tend to reach for when we're doing certain units or certain activities. And then here I have a little microscope that a friend gave Elia that he loves playing with. And we tend to use that with outdoor things. And then back to our board here, we've got our All About Me sheet. We've got a phone number, address, and here we put up all the fun things that we do. This is the IKEA easel. It's not magnetic, which is why I had to get all the other magnetic stuff over there, but we still use it as well. And then last but not least, our flashcards. We've got phonics, animals, community helpers, and word families. To be honest, we didn't use the phonics or word families at all, but we have used community helpers, and we are planning to use animals when we get to our animal unit. So that about covers all the stuff that we use in our homeschool life currently. Hope you guys love this video. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know how you feel, and let's get chatting in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.